Why do you think it is? We're asking all of you. Why do you think it is that any of you would not reach for something really magnificently wonderful, by your opinion, for yourself? Why do you think that you would settle for less than you really want? What do you think's the reason for that?
A lack of belief.
Lack of belief in what? Usually it's the lack of belief in myself to deserve it. It's that, sure, I believe that wonderful things can happen. I just don't believe that they can happen to me. And that's because you've spent so much of your life experience trying to figure out what's outside of you instead of understanding that your inner being is inside of you and that all of that is within you. It is you. And unless you're doing something to separate yourself from it, then wonderful things come to you because you are deserving of that. So we know we are the reason that you're schizophrenic on this subject. We understand that because when we first began flowing through Esther in this way, most of you had a sense of non-physical. You talked about God a lot in those days or about what was non-physical. But there was a severe, for most of you, separation between what you thought of as that and what you thought of as yourself. And so we thought it was very important for you to not just understand who you were before you came into this body, but that who you were, that non-physical part of you still exists, even though you are in this body, and that there is a connection from that non-physical to you. Not just an interest, an absolute connection, a co-creation kind of thing going on. And that the agreement that you all made with your inner beings was, I will go, I will be the pioneer on the leading edge. I will explore and discover and decide. I will choose. I will feel what is right for me, the creator of my experience. You can't create in anybody else's experience. The creator of my experience. And your inner being says, that's exactly right. And as you choose, we will focus there. We've been through this already, but we want to tie it together in a stronger way. We will focus with you. In fact, we will focus so completely on it that any time, once you've chosen it, and you keep amending it and amending it and amending it and amending it and amending it, first they're mean to you, and then they're beating you up, and then they're depriving you of this. In other words, you're sending all kinds of rockets of desires off for the improvement in your life that you want. And your inner being is focusing on every one of them and gathering the cooperative components. And so your desires continue to evolve and your inner being continues to keep up with the evolution of your becoming. But humans don't keep up with the evolution of their becoming because you're out on the leading edge where you're continuing to become. And so we're wanting you to understand the way it all works so that you can get used to the feeling of there being something more that you've asked for that you're on your way to, so that you're moving forward with expectant eyes, looking for it, because those expectant eyes, then you see that, and then you see that which you want to take a photograph of, and then you see that, and then you see that, and then you see that. Then this part of what you want comes to you, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. As Esther is walking around the streets of this nation, really of the world, she is concerned at how many people she sees just looking down. People aren't looking up and engaging and wanting to play with one another in the way that Esther wants to play with everybody. It's like they've withdrawn because they don't know what engagement is. They don't know what co-creation is. And if they're not willing or even wanting to engage with one another, then what's the possibility of them understanding the engagement with their inner being? And so people are sort of withering and wilting as they deprive themselves of the life force that is reaching to them, but they are not allowing it in because they are not focused upon who they are and why they're here. They're not feeling important enough to let the stuff that they want come. They can let good stuff come to other people. And so that's why we're asking you these pointed questions. What is it that makes you not want to believe that you get to be or do or have whatever it is that you're wanting? We can tell you what it is. It's having looked around and seen that you haven't always gotten it all, or even most of it. In other words, you let what is be the lens through which you expect. And we want you to feel for the lens that your inner being expects.